Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Phil and Ryan, listen up. Thank you, KK. And in this episode, Ryan, we're going to break down the press conference that just dropped a day or two ago, I believe it was. And in the press conference, it featured KK Arnold, Sarah Williams, Kaylee Heckel, and you have to remind me of who else was in that press conference.
Easy fun.
Easy Foot. And like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate you all. We love you all a lot. Right? The subscribe numbers went up, the view count has went up, and the likes are still going up. And remember, it's the off season, right? We're just inching our way closer to November. So I appreciate you joining me on this beautiful Saturday. A little bit of sunshine, a little bit of clouds. Rye, but the 100-degree weather is gone. Rye said, thank goodness, because even though you like Florida, you don't like that humidity. So June 28th, as we inch our way near July, this is probably the last time I see your smiling face in June. This feels just different. And it's not only because Paige Beckers is gone. Mind you, I like that Buckets jersey that you have behind of you. This is not just because Beckers is gone from the program, but these press conferences just feel different.
Yeah, I thought, it's nice to have a new addition behind me now with, Sarah Strong behind me on my right, I guess, and then to my left behind me is Becker. So, yeah, little addition behind me, and yeah, I'm glad the sun is in today and it can stay in and stay just a little bit cooler for today. But yeah, it was a nice press conference. I think we had a couple days ago as these summer workouts continue to roll on. And Sarah Williams, she was one of them in that interview. And obviously, she came to UConn to win. That's the main reason she came here. It's as simple as that. And she never experienced a winning season in Wisconsin, despite her three remarkable years there that we've talked about. And this is her last year in college, so she's motivated to win with this team. Williams said it's motivating when she walks inside the practice facility to see the 12 big championship banners hanging up. It seems like she's having a good time so far, enjoying the time with her teammates. We've seen many portal pickups while we've been covering the Huskies. Dorka Juhas, Lou Lopez, Caitlin Chen, and all of them seem to fit right in with the team right away. And it seems like they've been playing together for years. So I'm sure it's going to be no different with Sarah Williams. And I'm also sure it'll be the same thing for Kaylee Heckel as well. She said she feels like she's at home now and wants to be a part of the success and help bring another championship back to UConn. And the other two players that were interviewed, AZ Fudd and Sarah Strong, we've already talked about them a little bit throughout the off season, but I think they realize the voice they have on the team. Both are looking to expand their roles and be more of a leader on the court. AZ spoke on practices being structured differently this year, and now that the team has had 4 weeks of practice under their belt, it's getting more competitive. Players are starting to understand each other's tendencies, and I feel like with KK Arnold as well, she talked about having more of a voice last season. So I think this year as well, if she can be even more of a leader out there on the court, it'd be nice to see that out of KK as well.
All right, very well said. So, the four young ladies that we saw in this press conference, Rye, just the other day, I can basically feel or hear someone right now. They're like, Phil, what are you talking about? Stop saying that. Look, Rye, here's my point to you. Everybody has a different personality. That's what makes us all so unique and different. And that's what's special about it, right? Not each, it's wild, right? Not each person is the same. They're just not. So, my top takeaway of these press conferences, sometimes we hear an athlete say the same thing over and over. Yeah, it might get old. And we appreciate all of them. They appreciate this program a lot. AZ Fudd definitely does, right? Returning. But I think my top takeaway is I wanted to tell you, Ryan, and everybody else, how mature they are. Right now, and a lot of people all of a sudden and their smiles on their face. They enjoy being here. They want to go back to back. And a lot of people I probably can hear them saying right now, well, I mean, they are in college. We expect them to come out and be mature. But my point to you is, Rye, And again, no offense to these kind of athletes who come out, but sometimes in press conferences, how is a media personality supposed to do their job, right? If an athlete's standing there at the podium and saying, "Yeah, no, yeah, it's okay, no." So again, these four young ladies, absolutely amazing during this press conference. Great job.
Well, I think when we had Matt, the assistant coach for UConn on last season. I feel like we kind of talked about that a little bit with her. How when they recruit these UConn Huskies, they're always pretty prepared and mature to face things like that off the court. Dealing with all the press, all the media, all the attention when they come to UConn. So I feel like all these ladies. Even if they're from other teams, when they come to UConn, I feel like they kind of understand that kind of stuff. They realize it's part of the job when they come to UConn to play. There's a lot of off the court stuff you have to deal with, and all the media and all the spotlight that you have surrounding you. So I think all these ladies understand that, and also think they do an excellent job dealing with all of that.
And you know who I think handles it better than anybody else is KK Arnold. You talk about the spotlight, the personality. Rye, boy, oh boy. We met her family many times. We appreciate her and everybody associated with her friends, her family. But I think you agree. I don't know if there's a name on this roster. Now, we love them all, right? But I don't know if there's a name on this roster that you and I would rather watch more than KK Arnold. That energy, that personality that she brings every day.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that just because, like you mentioned, just her energy whenever she goes out there on the court, and it's pretty infectious to watch. And I think it's infectious for all the other teammates as well. I think her teammates feed off of her and see her energy out there, and I think they all feed off of that in the game, and it fires them up and gets them even more into the game and makes it more competitive for everybody else around her.
Here we go. Jason said, I don't like these conversations because it's hard. It's very hard to get a baseline of the talent pool from the different decades. I also think that just looking at the stats does not do many players justice. Yes, let's take Paige, for example. While her stats are amazing, I'm sorry, Ryan, amazing, she is so much more than their sum. When she steps on the court, everyone from the crowd, her teammates, and even the opposite hold their breath. So how do you measure that against DT, MM, or Stewie? Not sure. I'm not sure if there is a fair set of data points that one can use to make a concrete analysis. Therefore, my vote is for Paige. No one has changed the game more than her. Without Paige, there is no Caitlin Clark. Remember that. Peace. Whoa. Right? The first time I've heard a strong take like that since Beckers and Clark were introduced to the basketball world.
Yeah, that definitely is an interesting take. And Morgan Valley is the assistant coach I was
Mm-hmm.
talking about. We had her on last season. I wanted to say Maggie Vanoni, but I knew that wasn't right. I'm thinking about Maggie Vanoni because we get so much news from her and use a lot of her great articles like
She's
this one
great. She's
during
great.
during
Yeah.
the off
Yeah.
season. But
No
yeah,
doubt.
I think Jason makes a pretty good point. You can definitely make an argument for all eight of those women in the article to move them around or put them at 1 through 8. But certainly Paige Beckers has changed the women's game, just like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have changed it. But I mean, Beckers is a huge reason why the women's game has changed so much over the last 4 or 5 years, along with those other ladies that I mentioned. But Beckers certainly welcomed a whole new generation to the game and inspired lots of a lot of young ladies out there to watch the game, play the game. So it was certainly nice to watch Paige, play in a UConn Huskies uniform, and we really got to see her watch and see her grow over all the years that she spent with us in stores.
And I had to remind you, this came from the Did They Get This List Correct for UConn Huskies video. You'll like this one a lot. Very simple, short comment, but again, sometimes they're the best ones. Keenan said, make room for Strong. Yeah. Oh, my. And just think, we talk about what she's getting ready to do at UConn, right? For the rest of her career. How about after UConn? Oh, my goodness, right. Oh, man.
It certainly
Woo.
is exciting. I definitely think you can add her to that list in a couple years from now. It's certainly going to be fun to watch Sarah Strong again this season, and all the reports so far that we've seen and talked about is Sarah Strong looks even better than last year, and that was from Gino. So it's certainly looking up from here, and Sarah Strong had one heck of a season last year. So if she can follow that up again in all three of her years here left at UConn, it's certainly going to be one for the history books. It's certainly her career is going to go down in history in the UConn Huskies Hall of Fame.
Just me. Hey, we thank all of our subs and the viewers, Rod. But again, the ones that come through every video, thank you a lot. The ones that stay consistent, thank you so much. Just me is one of them, along with Jason D'Amico and so many more. I'm not forgetting anybody, but don't have time to name every single one. But Rod, we see the ones that stay consistent, but we appreciate and love every one of you all. Just me said, thanks for the all-season updates, Phil and Rye. I can't wait for next season. I think Brianna Stewart is number one on that list because she won 4 NCAA championships. But the top 8 are all great basketball players. If Sarah Strong stays healthy, no jinx intended, she will be number 1 on the list. The list will also include AZ Fudd. Next season, Gino will have 2 starting fives again. Whoa.
Well, it seems like that's a recurring problem for Gino and the Huskies with having two starting fives almost every single year. We always talk about the depth for this team. The five ladies on the bench could certainly make a starting lineup on another team. But yeah, Brianna Stewart definitely had a spectacular career. Couldn't have really done much else for the UConn Huskies, winning all 4 years she was in UConn. And, her WNBA career is certainly one for the books, too. So she was certainly one of the most influential Huskies of all time.
All right, Rod, I appreciate you a lot. I will see you Wednesday, July the 2nd, as we flip the calendar to July. And Rod, we want to remind everybody to stay right here. Do not unsubscribe, but yet subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Turn that notification bell on, and this is the home of the 12-time national champions, UConn women's basketball. Phil and Rod, listen up.